Call this meeting to order. In the absence of Mayor Shapiro, would like to do roll call. Jerry?
Sure. Mayor Shapiro is absent. Trustee Benton?
Here.
Trustee Berg?
Here.
Trustee Goldstone?
Here.
Trustee Greenberg?
Here.
Trustee Jacoby?
Here.
And Trustee Oppenheim?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Can I have a motion to nominate Trustee Goldstone as presiding officer for the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Okay, so we should rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. District 113 is here to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I think we have a presentation from you guys in just a little bit after we appoint Dottie as the Fine Arts Committee chairman. We'll welcome you back in just a second.
So now we have an appointment of Dottie Fiedler. Is that right?
Hey.
And I understand the Fine Arts Commission is here as well to support you in this appointment. And I think I was told that were you on the commission for 27 years?
Oh my gosh.
From the beginning.
Well, thank you. Then I guess I'm looking for a
You asked for a
motion
motion to approve.
to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Trustee Greenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby?
Yes.
And Trustee Oppenheim?
Absolutely.
Motion passes.
Congratulations, Dottie.
Thank you.
Dottie, thank you for your continued service. All the members of the Fine Arts Commission, we thank you for all that you do for us. We got a chance to recognize Jeff a couple of meetings ago, and that was pretty awesome, given what you do. But we're looking forward, Dottie, for another 27 years from you as our chair. Thank you.
And now we have a presentation from District 113.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Amita Reed. I'm a resident of Deerfield. I have two high schoolers.
Hello, I'm Mary Beth Arzik. I'm a co-president from Highland Park, and my kids are out of the schools.
And we have Angie Butera, our executive director, and we are here representing the District 113 Education Foundation today. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is our mission statement, and basically our mission is to champion excellence at Deerfield and Highland Park High Schools by trying to fund beyond the budget initiatives at the district and innovative opportunities and initiatives to empower the students. I'm going to go to the next slide. We have been founded in 2007. I think I'm going to read from here. We are a 501c3 status. At the heart of everything we do is our schools. So we have funded over $650,000 in grant requests since 2007. And the way this works is the teachers, in the beginning of the school year, they come up with a grant request that's beyond their funded initiatives. And they submit to us, and we have a rubric, and we evaluate the grant. And the rubric includes, like, you cannot have any, request food items or transportations, or there has to be innovation, and what is the impact to the students. And, we only fund for the first year. And after that, they have to collect all the data points and then make a pitch to the district to continue funding for then on. We are a 100% volunteer organization. Our board has all community members we try to get maximum participation from all our villages, affiliated villages. We have students form a big part of our board, especially during the grant review. They're the ones who bring their opinions and help us decide on the impact of grants. And we have the high school administrators and including Dr. Shala Holland, the district administrator, on our board. The next slide actually shows the breadth of our innovative projects that we have funded, but really it goes across all the departments. So I'm just going to go to the next slide. There's too many words here, but this chart shows that in the past 2 years, we have funded around 40,000 in grants. And it's not just the usual STEM. We go beyond the STEM. We go arts, culture, sports, well-being. And we also do sponsorships for After Proms, Genocide Awareness Day, the anti-drug community, and the Empower Her. So we really try to look at the student holistic experience at the high school and not just the usual STEM. So innovation in our mission is not just focused on STEM. It goes beyond in all walks of life. We just wanted to touch this slide for the impacts and benefits to the students and the community. So basically, after pulling these numbers from the roster, 77.5% of the Deerfield High School enrollment is Village of Deerfield students. That's around 1,084 out of 1,399 students. For reference, Village of Riverwoods is around 10% of DHS students. An additional 2,721 students come from the elementary and middle school DPS 109 districts. And our grants and everything we do is here to stay. So it is not only benefiting our current high school students, but also the new incoming DPS 101 students. And the core outcomes of our foundation is we want to help the students foster meaningful, long-lasting connections and make sure that they have this enhanced academic experience and build their resilience and well-being. And the biggest thing is it's the diversity of grants is accessible to everybody and not just a particular student group. So in conclusion, I have some numbers here that I didn't get a chance to add to the slide. According to the latest niche ranking, District 113 is ranked 5th in the nation and number 3rd in best places to teach and best school districts in Illinois. Wow. And according to a 5-year projection plan by the Assistant Superintendent for Finance, there is a sad $1.2 million deficit anticipated in 2025-2026 school year, with a projected deficit of nearly $3.6 million in the 2028-2029 school year. Given all these data points, we believe our role is even more important than ever to continue to make sure this district gives this high-quality education despite all these budget cuts. So thank you. I know the mayor is not here, but thank you, Mayor and the board, for your time today. And we are requesting the Village of Deerfield's partnership and commitment to help us sustain and expand these programs. We started this effort, this municipality outreach to request sponsorships last year, sometime around November, and we're excited to report that Village of Riverwoods has committed to $1,000 sponsorship. So we are requesting the Village of Deerfield's partnership in continuing this. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank you on behalf of the foundation for inviting us to the Field of Honor, and that was mostly, all credit goes to Angie Butera for helping us bring these opportunities that we can actually volunteer for the village events. So we look forward to other such volunteer opportunities in future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything you want to add, Mary?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
All
Very
right.
good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Look forward
Thank
to
you.
working with you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on the agenda item is Public Works and Engineering Department Objectives Reports. Bob Phillips.
Thank you, Presiding Officer Goldstone. And thank you all for your support over the last 12 months. We've done our best to provide this board and the mayor with the best information that we can. And on the flip side, this board and the mayor have done a great job providing us with the tools that we need to get our jobs done, and that's much appreciated. First, I'd also like to recognize my staff that has prepared not only this report, but the team is amazing, and they do so many different things. I'm not going to touch on everything they do tonight, but there's a lot of metrics in the report that if you have an interest in looking through it, you can see some of the effort that these fine men and women are working on throughout the year, and it's really remarkable. First of all, too, I have one announcement that of retirement for a long-term superintendent of Public Works. Dan Busher is planning to retire this year, and though I haven't received a date from him, it looks like it's going to be sometime in the next couple months. And it's a big loss for our department and for the village. But he's put his time in, and luckily for us, we've planned a succession plan, and we have staff that's coming up behind him. And so we do have a good plan in place for filling that position, helping to fulfill his responsibilities in that position. So rest assured that we're planning for it. We're thinking for the future, though I think there'll probably be some speed bumps along the way, but we'll get there. Just some of the high points that I'm going to run through tonight for 2025, and then talk a little bit about some of the things that we're working on for 2026 and further on down the road. In 2025, as you're all aware, we had a pretty major capital project going on, Hazel Avenue reconstruction between Wilmot Road and Waukegan Road, and that was literally a full reconstruction of village utilities, water main, almost 7,000 feet of water main, and storm sewer as well, about 4,000 feet of storm sewer. So it was a pretty big job. It's not 100% complete, but the project was, let's say, 95% complete by the end of the construction season. We had hoped that we would finish it, but we have this little bit kind of still holding out. It's basically just resurfacing of a section between, let's say, Wayne and Waukegan Road, or Wayne and the railroad track, just a small section that needs to have the surface course put on it, as well as striping and signs and so forth that need to still go up. As you know, and Tyler was in front of the village board earlier in 2025 to talk a little bit about lead services, and that's again on the agenda tonight. But lead services, came up, lead water services, that is, came up as part of the Hazel Avenue project. We replaced, say, 15 or so of those in their entirety. And working with residents in each one of those homes, we had to go from the water main all the way inside the house, including replacement of the meter. So there's a lot of lifting that goes along with it. There are a lot of different players involved. There's a plumber, there's an electrician, there's a tiler, there's a lot of different people that get involved in this. So it's a big effort, and Tyler's going to talk a little bit about that later on the agenda tonight. Sewer lining is also another thing that we've worked on over the last many years, and we did work on lining the east side interceptor main, which is a large diameter sewer that goes between the Warwick Road pumping station and the east side pumping station. So it's about 10,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer. We're lining the second half of that this year. Last year we lined some of the more challenging portions of it, and did had a lot of coordination with the city of Highland Park and their public works. They lined some crossings that they had that go underneath the creek. So it was a really great team effort that we had with City of Highland Park, and very grateful to have them as a neighbor and to be able to work with them. In early 2025, the WRF division finished the pump and hatch replacement project. And so that includes pumps and hatches. So the pumps, first of all, for the Deerfield and Warwick Road pumping stations, and then also the hatches. And if you can imagine, what these hatches look like. It's just a hatch on the floor, but when you lift the hatch, it's very deep, and it's pretty scary. If somebody were to fall in that hatch, we'd have some pretty serious problems, particularly if they were by themselves, which is why we don't really like people to come in and work on things by themselves. So, but these the hatch replacement project replaced the hatch and then the fall protection in there. So, we're making things safe and bringing them up to code. The solar panel project, as you know, was underway in the latter part of 2025, and over by the wastewater treatment plant where we have approximately 2 acres of land. It's 99% complete. I was really hoping to have really good news for you guys tonight, but the startup did not happen today. So we had a hiccup with Commonwealth Edison, so we're working on rescheduling that. But sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we should be started up on that. So I'll keep you posted on that. A big effort that Tyler and the other staff have been working on is the Cartograph implementation. And Cartograph is a work order / forward-facing software on the village's website where we can do work orders, we can do asset management, and there's a back end on that really takes a lot of work to implement. Tyler and the rest of our team have been very hard at work on that. It was planned to go live at the end of last week, but probably will go live sometime in the next week or so. So we're just trying to get some of the bugs worked out on that. We've also worked pretty extensively on the implementation of the native planting work that we started many years ago. Native plantings along the east side of the railroad tracks, north of Tony's Subs. So some of that work has been done. Obviously, not taken root yet. But then also there's a section on the west side of the railroad tracks that we were in front of the village board with maybe the last meeting or meeting before, so that endeavor continues in that regard. We have a street rehab project coming up in 2026. Many streets that will be either resurfaced or reconstructed as part of that project. The bid opening is this coming Friday. We had a pre-bid meeting today and had about a dozen contractors show up. So there's good interest in the projects, and we'll see how the bids shake out. But that'll be at on the next board agenda for you all to consider. We'll close out Hazel Avenue this year. As I mentioned, we have sewer lining on the east side interceptor main that will finish up, and that's really just kind of checking the box. That's one of these things that's been on the radar for a good 20 years, and it's something that Kent and I have had extensive conversations about, and we're really happy to get that complete. Deerfield Road MCC replacement, so Master Control Center, and that's the Deerfield Road pumping station. That's $1 million or so that we're spending this year that really people don't see, but it does protect a lot of homes. And if you can picture the pumping station on Deerfield Road near the West Fork, so it's replacement of the electrical components inside there. And then we're going to spruce up the generator. We've had a lot of discussion about that generator in the past. It's still a pretty good piece of equipment, but we're working on the exhaust and trying to fix some of the exhaust issues that we're having with that. In 2025, we also had some pretty significant impacts on our rock salt purchasing. I think you've all kind of been in the know on that, and the rock salt has started to flow back, so we're starting to get deliveries again, which of course it's too late, but we've got it. And as a result, we already have Lake County DOT asking us for numbers for the 26-27 season. So I have put a number in for them, and we're still waiting on IDOT, which just seems to go on and on forever. But at some point in time, we'll be giving IDOT a number of what our bulk volume would be that we'd request from them. So we'll see how that goes, and of course I'll keep the board posted on that. In 2025, we had 52 main breaks. And 52 main breaks, though it seems like a lot, if you look back 20 years, we used to have around 140. And so that's a lot. 52 is a manageable number. We've had less than 52 in recent years, but 52 seems to be about where we're resting. And this is a part of the reason why we do so much system work. And so adding valves, replacing water mains adding VFDs or variable frequency drives and different pumps and things. This is the reason why we do this work, and I think this board is well informed on that, and you guys understand that, and you've supported us in that stuff, and that's how we're bringing that number down, that metric down from 140 down to 52. So it's really helpful. Lead sampling is a major effort, and this year last year in 2025, the EPA dropped a new requirement on us to have 120 lead samples done every year. So it's 60 in the first 6 months, and 60 in the second 6 months. They're sending us bottles. We're coordinating with the residents, the schools, everybody else to try and have these people take samples inside their businesses or inside their residence so that we can take those samples and send them to the EPA for their testing. So it's a major effort, and the water department is on it. So sewer division, talking about metrics, and the sewer division does a lot of cleaning. And so one might ask, why is the sewer division constantly cleaning sewers? Well, the metrics that are in our report you should kind of talk about that a little bit to some extent. But if you look back until 2001, we had 450 sewer blockage calls. Wow. That means at night, weekends, rainstorms, people called us up and said, my basement's flooding, my front yard's flooding, this is flooding, that's flooding, okay? In 2005, we had 8. Wow. So this is why we're lining, this is why we're cleaning, this is why we're doing sewer repairs, and obviously the numbers are very telling. So it really shows water main breaks down, sewer blockage is down, and this is all a result of the hard work that the public works folks are doing every day. In 2025 and in 2026, we've had a lot of discussions about trucks and equipment, and so there's a lot of balls in the air when it comes to trucks and equipment. But I'll just run down and tell you kind of where we're at with some of these purchases that we've made, because the board approved purchases late last year, and then even the previous year, some of these things we haven't received yet. But in 2025, we received one 5-ton truck, and we received our bread truck. So rest assured, we have a bread truck now, and the bread truck is great. It's new and it's a nice piece of equipment. But we are also waiting for 4 additional 5-ton trucks, 4 additional 1-ton plow trucks, and 2 leaf machines, which we ordered 2 years ago, which we haven't received. So we're hoping to get those before sometime this summer, and hopefully before we start to do leaf collection again, because we don't want to go through another leaf collection season without new equipment. We've also taken delivery of a skid steer, a generator, and an air compressor. So there's a lot going on when it comes to tools and equipment, and ordering and figuring out the specs and actually making the purchases, and then obviously the village board making the okay on that one. So it takes the whole team to pull together to kind of make those purchases happen. One last thing is special events that you all know that we manage and we get heavily involved in, and we do traffic control, setup, breakdown, and again, public works folks are working really hard to make all this stuff happen. We're involved in electronics, recycling, food trucks, farmers market, public works open house, harvest fest, family days. So all of those are major efforts for us. And we're happy to provide, the traffic control and the planning and everything else that we do with respect to those events.
Cool.
I think that's a sign.
It's a light show. You guys also do light shows.
And we can fix that. And that's really the end of the report. But I would like to say, once again, thank you all for your support. With our endeavors, to help us move forward with things that we have that make this village great, and it really does show. And I think you can see that when you're on your way to work, or you're walking, you're running, you see that the effect of what we're doing, and it really is wonderful. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Two quick questions, or at least I hope they're quick. First of all, did you get full cooperation from Metro for putting the pipes under the track when you came down Hazel?
Yeah, so we do get a permit from Metro to do that work, and it does take quite some time. It takes a good, say, 2 to 3 years to try and get right of entry. But we did, of course, we had right of entry, flagging,
Right.
everything that's required from Metro to do that. Yes.
And the second was, do you have an estimate at this point, because people ask, when they're going to be doing the work on the Deerfield bridge over the East Fork, over by the power plant?
Middle Fork.
North Fork.
Okay, so in between us and Highland Park, so
Right.
that'd be the Middle Fork. Yes. So that project is right now in phase 1. Okay, so they're just doing an environmental study on that. Have not started design work yet, but it looks like construction in 2029, maybe 2028.
Okay.
And Bob, that's the responsibility of Lake County Department of Transportation, right?
It is Lake County's bridge, and it is their responsibility. Yes.
Right.
So remember, while we maintain Deerfield Road, we don't own Deerfield Road. Right. So we fix potholes, they fix big stuff.
And
so
we were lucky enough.
That was part of the conversation when we rebuilt Deerfield Road east of the underpass, was giving up that jurisdiction. We all talked about that at length and the trade-offs for that. And the trade-off is we don't have to pay for the bridge, they do. On the other hand, we want to make sure the bridge gets fixed before something stops traffic over the bridge, right? So that's our effort, is to keep on them to fix that before it gets critical.
And my understanding is that Deerfield Highland Park are working on what to do about things like trucks and fire trucks and ambulances and heavier trucks that go over that, and where they're going to go while it's under construction.
The notifications are up, and the bridge is posted, so all the proper agencies have been notified on that, and we were part of that. And happy to to notify people, and if anybody has questions, they can give us a call. But yeah, we were lucky enough to we were lucky enough to hand ownership of that bridge off to Lake County in 2016 or 2017. Could we build it quicker than they? Probably, but then we'd have to pay for it.
Their bridge. I had a comment, Bob. I was very pleased to see the 5-year statistics that you put in the report. And you just talked about the importance of ongoing maintenance and what a difference it makes in terms of the quality and the condition of our infrastructure. Is there some way we can communicate this to the residents of the village for them to know we had, 8 overflow problems this year versus hundreds in the past? When we hear complaints from people, we hear, oh, this happens all the time, I get flooding, which is not true anymore.
No.
And it would be nice to let people know how much better we're doing now than perhaps we did in the far past. And the fact that we have been spending the time and the money and all the effort that you guys go through to maintain our infrastructure. Do we send these statistics out somehow to the public so they can see this? How much better it is for them now?
We don't, but I think maybe there's a way to work with David's office and Bob's office to do like a timeline analysis, because if we have 50 sewer backups in basements versus 450 sewer, I mean, if you're one of those people, which I was at one point.
Me too.
It's nice not to be that person anymore.
I bet.
It's pretty wild. There's some really good numbers.
So maybe we'll work as a team to figure out maybe how we can highlight some of those stats.
That would be great.
As well as to reinforce the ongoing need to keep after it, right? That's why do you keep sewer lining? Why do we spend $400,000 a year on sewer lining to stop this stuff?
Right. Got to keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a good challenge for us, and we ought to figure out how to communicate that better.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
This is my favorite read. Every year I tell you this. Every year.
I find it exhausting while working, just reading it.
Well, if you need to fall asleep, you know what to do. You can read it.
No, I'm like.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
We're into it.
Thanks, Bob, to all your people as well. Tyler.
Okay, minutes of the previous meeting.
Move approval?
Do we not have to discuss? Is there an amendment or?
Just want to report.
Please.
We do have the Scribner's error that we want to talk about.
Yes.
Related to the bond issue. just to note that basically a correction. This isn't anything substantial, but to the extent that there was a change in the line item, and then there was a change in the narrative as well. And this is at your place. It looks like this. You can see it in red.
Yeah.
So on page 18, a change on page 18 on the total amount, and then the narrative which we deleted on page 21. That's the substantive change. It doesn't change anything with the bond ordinance itself or the payment schedule. It's just our bond counsel is belts and suspenders, which is exactly what we pay them to do. So that's what that's about. So,
But the motion would be to approve the minutes as amended.
as acknowledging the Scrivener's error,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yep. So, Mary, you're making that motion?
No, Bob made.
Bob made the motion.
I did.
I'm just nitpicking.
Yep, thank you. No,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for catching.
I second.
Okay, roll call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, then we're on to treasurer's report. Eric.
Thank you.
Nobody's ever told me that the treasurer's report is their favorite read.
You know, Eric, you're such a close second. Such a close second.
This is the January 2026 treasurer's report. It represents the first month of the new year. There's not a whole lot of analysis we can do, only 1 month in, but I can give you just a few highlights of what's happened so far. Sales tax continues to exceed the prior 2 years. That's good news, likely due to just the increase in the cost of things. Water and sewer billings reflect lower usage months, very typical this time of year. Hotel tax reflects payments from 5 hotels. The 6th hotel paid shortly after month end, so we are caught up after this report. And state income tax increased from the same period of the prior year. On the expenditure side, many of the cash payments made in January relate back to 2025, so we won't see them reflected as expenditures in this report, but they did happen. Overall, operating expenditures at this point are below projection, which is expected due to the timing of seasonal or once-a-year type expenditures. General liability insurance gets paid once for the whole year. Memberships, special events happen later in the year. So it does look like we're in a really good position, and we are, but some of that will even out as we move throughout the rest of the year. Just again, early in the year, but off to a good start. We will start the audit field work for 2025 probably next month, and the auditors will be back to the board midsummer with their final report, the independent report there. So happy to answer any questions, but still real early in the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bills and payroll.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Trustee Greenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Motion passed.
So now we're at the part in our meeting where we have the opportunity to have public comments. I don't see anybody in the audience here that would like to make public comments.
Nothing signed up here.
And nobody signed up. So we will move on to reports. 26-26, consideration and action on the report and recommendation regarding residential lead service line replacement cost share program. Tyler.
Good evening, Board. As Bob kind of mentioned, here to talk to you about the recommendation we have for residential lead service line replacement cost share program. As you all know, in 2021, the governor signed the Lead Service Line Replacement and Notification Act. This act, among other things, requires all public water suppliers to start proactively replacing lead service lines beginning in 2027. As part of the budget for this year, staff and the village board approved a $100,000 fiscal year 2026 budget line item for this program. And a general approach to this program was presented at the Committee of the Whole meeting in spring of 2025. Over the last 8 months, staff has been refining this program, soliciting feedback from both internal and external stakeholders, and we present this to you tonight. So again, just a little background on it. Again, this started in 2021. The IEPA and the governor's office signed the law, Public Act 102-0613, the Lead Service Line Replacement Notification Act. Among other things, it's a replacement, it's a notification, and it's the identification of lead service lines within a public water supply. Per our municipal code, we have two different parts of the lead service line, or a water service. One is the public portion, which is the main to the B-box or the shutoff, usually around the sidewalk. The second part is the private side, which is then from the B-box into the building. This program, as we presented it last spring, I just want to kind of go over a few different high-level guidelines that we will implement as part of this program. So eligibility is for all village residents of single-family residential structures or condo owners, unit owners that have a dedicated water service line to each building. This is not for the larger apartment buildings where they have a large, usually a 3-4 inch ductile iron, but one's, I guess, communal water service line. Eligibility is strictly for the full replacement unless it's been documented that the public side is copper. We will allow then just the partial replacement from the sidewalk into the house. The cost sharing is it is 50% for a full water service line replacement up to $6,000. So it's not factoring in whether it's in the parkway, the water main where you need to dig, or it's in the roadway. It's full $6,000 or up to $6,000 for each full lead service line replacement. If it is only the private side, that 50% is capped at $2,500. The village being that in last spring, we kind of recognized that we've already made an expenditure for that replacement on a previous project. Permit fees will be waived. Bonds will be still taken just to make sure we have our roads rebuilt correctly. The program reimbursements will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. So we have $100,000 for this calendar year. So we're going to be making this live to the public via our online portal system, likely, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks. And it is first-come, first-served. So we'll be keeping track of those expenditures and making sure we don't go too far beyond the $100,000. The $100,000 is also budgeted for next year, and as we're in a 2-year program, we'll be looking at both numbers for the next couple of years. It should also be noted that recent legislation at this federal level has changed our overall time frame for completing these lead service line replacements from 15 years to 10 years. That starts November 1st, 2027. So give or take, we have until the end of 2037 to complete these. We have about 400 in the village, give or take. There are still unknowns out there that we're still working to refine our final numbers on, but that's a rough number that we're going with today. Staff recommends that in the best interest of the village and its residents, financial incentives be provided to owners of single-family homes and multi-unit properties with dedicated water services in the form of a village-facilitated residential lead service line replacement cost-sharing program. So happy to answer any questions. There's a lot here, I know that.
I have one question. Have everybody who you've identified with lead service been notified of the issue and of this program?
The program, no. So we were careful not to make this public until it was approved at the village board level. Over the next 2 or 3 weeks, this will become public. We'll give residents a little time to digest it, get their homework in place, see if this is something they want to facilitate or look into. And then we'll be making it live maybe in about a month. So we want there to be enough time for residents to kind of understand it.
And then the other question that I have gotten asked by a few different people is because there's a long timeline of when this is actually going to, will there be more incentives if they hold out? That's been the question.
It's a great question. It's tough. So the act is very silent, and Ben can, I know, speak to this. It's very silent on who pays for it. Yeah. We have our responsibility, but as far as what's on the private side, it is very silent. There are some communities where maybe they got state revolving funds that require full reimbursement or full cost sharing. So the village would be responsible for 100% if we had outside funding mechanisms. Because we're using local funds, we get to have that 50% cost share. So it's very difficult to know. I think there's been sweeter deals. On Hazel, we had a little bit of a sweeter deal because we were very invested in getting those 15, 17 properties to change out their lead service lines. I could see that taking place in the future with village board approval. However, for the at-large program, it's very hard to say. It may take sweetening the pot to get other folks, and we may need to sweeten the pot just to keep up with inflation as well. Right. As we're not alone, there's 700 to 1 million lead service lines in Illinois. I mean, it's like an $8 billion liability right there. So there's going to be a lot of money spent in the next 10 years. That will drive up cost, and our cost will likely need to reflect that as well. And it could be part of that is us sweeten the deal to entice some of the others.
I will also say that it is up to the village board year in, year out to establish budgeting. So, for somebody who may be watching this, and if there's an opportunity now, there's a chance that the village board could say next year or 2 years from now or 5 years from now, we're not going to make funds available. So there's no guarantee. So when you have a program, there's the benefit to take advantage of when you can. It's unclear what the state and what the federal government will do in terms of long-term incentives.
Right.
Ultimately, it's such a big cost, whether it's in Illinois or federally, that I would think it would be difficult for either the state or the federal government to offer meaningful subsidies and to expect that just because just the catastrophic cost.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the best thing that anybody can do is when they're doing other work, if it happens to present itself, whether obviously if they have a break in their service line, you can't do partial replacement anyway, but if they're redoing their driveway and it's right there and it's obvious and easy to do, that's the time to do it. But, there's no guarantees about future funding.
Should also be said that as we get further into our 10-year window, budgeting we will likely recommend additional funds to chase more lead service lines, just because it went this time last year, it was a 15-year window. Now we're looking at a 10-year window. Just last month, the Illinois Pollution Control Board approved the U.S. EPA's modifications or their requirements. So now we're at a 10-year window, shrinking our availability to get this done.
So this program is spectacular. So proud of Deerfield. The city of Chicago, their program is they'll waive the permitting fee. That's it. So this is absolutely phenomenal.
But we have a much smaller problem in the city of Chicago.
Scale matters, right?
So it's a question of scale. Tyler, I had a question in the description of the program. We talked about replacing either the lead service or galvanized service lines. Are we encouraging people to replace galvanized service lines too?
Through the letter of the law, any galvanized services that's downstream of lead, and typically they do go hand in hand, that is part of this program as well. So typically lead would be coming out of the main, and then for a straight run they would use galvanized or maybe into the building. But that being downstream of lead, it can hold on to lead a lot longer. So even if you replace the lead, you've got lead leaching out from that galvanized material.
Even if it's not still connected to a lead service line?
If it was ever downstream of a lead service line
It
or any
retains
type
some.
of piping, that is now classified basically as lead.
And do we try to inform our residents or comfort them in some way to assure them that our drinking water is not contaminated with lead, even if they do have a lead service line?
Yes, I've talked to 50 to 100 different residents. There's a general playbook I follow about first addressing that this is not something, we don't have lead in our system. It's safe. Right. These are typically just from private lines. There are a myriad ways to filter out lead. You can go a $50 filter from Home Depot with a 6-month reoccurring subscription. You can go with all the way up to a full lead service line replacement at anywhere from 10 to 15. So, and there's everything between. There's osmosis, RO, reverse osmosis filters under the sink. There's whole house filters in the basement. So there's a lot of different ways. I always let them know that I have a lead service. I have a $50 filter. Because in Chicago there's no incentive. So that's the route I go. To each their own, though. People have their own concerns with it. Obviously, younger families versus some of the elderly, so it really depends on the resident. Try not to steer them to any one direction. Just give them the options and let them go. So.
But in that sense, the village is still trying to help our residents to make sure they do not have lead contamination in their
Correct.
water.
Yep.
Whether or not they want to spend the money on the replacement at this
correct.
time. We can still help them.
Yep.
So they should still ask us.
They should, yeah. I tell them I can have a 3-minute conversation or a 30-minute concesion,
And
you know,
testing,
whatever
we do
works.
testing, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like Bob said, 60 in the first 6 months and 60 again in the second. And we're back into another phase, so we've got another 60 going out on the street as soon as we get our information from the IEPA.
Do you anticipate the work being done block by block, street by street, one-offs?
I think at the start, we're getting those that are the most concerned and that will utilize the financial incentive to replace these lead service lines. So I vision this program more getting the odds and ends throughout different quadrants. I do think once this kind of subsides, or at least the interest subsides, I do think we'll start to have more of a targeted approach. Yep. So this subdivision that was built in the 20s, 30s, let's go, budget X for this year, and we're going to go target that entire area and try to get everybody to replace it in this area.
I would assume it's more cost efficient than to do it that way.
It would be, yeah. And that would be more of a village-led initiative, kind of like what Hazel was. We went out, had competing bids from plumbers to do the work. We got the best cost. We provided that to the residents. But for this, more of the at-large, the one-offs, this is just kind of how we're going to look to start it. But I do see us pivoting, whether it's in 3 years or 5 years or 2 years, into that more targeted approach method.
And a couple of things I would add, Larry. I think over the barbecue, people are going to have conversations. You're doing it this year, yeah. I'm going to do it this year. Why don't we do that together? Because it's a good idea. And I would also say, to the extent that $100,000 gets pushed because we've got all these people, I'll come back to you guys and say, I've got another 20 that want to do it this year, guys. I think we need to be open to that because we want to get it done, right?
Right.
But we also want to get it done in a reasonable way that these guys can manage. So I'd love to have that problem. And if I have that problem, I'll come back to you later in the year and say I need another X to support it this year. But I also applaud the group for coming up with this program. And I think from your perspective, I asked the team earlier, this is kind of middle of the road with what our neighbors are doing. Mm-hmm. This is not here, it's not here, it's kind of middle of the road. And I also truly think there's real value in cost sharing for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. One, when you have a cost sharing project, you want to get it done. Elaine's going to stay at home and watch this thing get done, and she wants to get it done, which is awesome for us, as opposed to, they're coming next week. Oh, I'm out of town. Can't do it. I think there's just a lot of good value in a 50-50 cost share because those residents, their property values also benefit from having this done, right?
Sure. Does it make sense as you're getting applications in to reach out to the neighbors on each side saying, hey, we're going to do this person's, they've applied?
At the start,
kind of just for scale of economy, if you're going there for one house.
So the $100,000 to Ken's point only gets about 16 or 17. So I think that'll go fairly quickly. At least I hope. I hope there's a lot of interest in it. I hope we're able to kind of utilize these funds and have that problem of, hey, I've got another 20.
That'd be awesome.
It would be. I think like the barbecue situation, I think there's going to be a lot of talk, and if we know that there's a couple here, be like, hey, just so you know, your neighbor's got one too, maybe team up with them, you can drive down that cost for contract, because the contractor can do 2 of these in a day. So instead of for the contractor driving from wherever doing 1 a day, you're paying their windshield time to and from and their 8 hours. Now you're only paying the way there in 4 hours, and your neighbor's paying the other 4 hours in the way home. Like, you can really trim down the cost quite a bit. So we'll and that's what we did with Hazel. We were knocking out 2 a day, which was awesome.
But if we only have in the neighborhood of 400 of these that we know about, we don't have mass swaths of them, in a neighborhood. There'll be a few in a neighborhood. Or there'll be 5 or 6, depending on the age of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
That's what dictates it. Older neighborhoods will have more. Newer neighborhoods will have none.
And redeveloped houses with 2.5 bathrooms have a new line anyway.
Yep. Right.
So folks that have
So it's going to be, scattershot.
There's areas that we'd like to target, yes, but you're right. Just because one neighbor has it does not mean either one.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, then I will look for a motion.
Move approval.
Second?
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Trustee Greenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there's nothing on the consent agenda or old business, so now we're on to new business. 26-25, ordinance amending the Village of Deerfield, Illinois wage and salary plan. Eric.
This item adjusts the wage and salary plan for the discussion we had at the last meeting, which is adding the building inspector / plan reviewer 1 category. So just making that finalized.
Okay. Do we have questions? Then I would look for a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Greenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Jacoby,
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim,
Yes.
Trustee Benton,
Yes.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And then items for discussion by presiding officer and board. I don't have anything.
Trustees?
No.
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Then we'll seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please. Or all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion,
Jesse.
motion, or meeting adjourned.
Awesome.